English, English Language, Unit 1, Practice Paper. This paper is testing you on your reading skills of fictitious text, so stories basically. In Section A, you will be asked to read an extract from a story and answer 3 questions on that extract. In Section B, you will have to write a story. The extract will probably be a side and a half of A4. It probably won't be a whole story, but it will give you an introduction. The introduction is usually located under the title of the story. It will give you some ideas about what the story is about. Before you start reading though, it's always good to check what the questions are asking you to do. Otherwise, you're just wasting time in the exam. Let's take a look at the questions. A1. Look at lines 1 to 17. What do you learn about Buddy and Hazel and the relationship between them in these lines? 10 marks. Okay, firstly, you need to highlight the key parts of this question. So, let's highlight the line boundaries. Lines 1 to 17. It's really important that you know that if you write about text outside of these line boundaries, even if you say something that's brilliant, you can't be awarded for it. The question is really specific, so stay within the line boundaries. Next, what do you learn about Buddy, Hazel and the relationship between them in these lines? So let's highlight what do you learn about Buddy, Hazel and the relationship between them. So there are almost 3 parts to this question. So it's no good just writing all the things you learn about Buddy, or just Hazel, or just the relationship between them. You have to think of all those 3 factors. Let's take a look then at the text. So first, let's mark off the text. So from line 1 down to line 17. It just finishes, possibly it was because I was there. Remember, your question is asking you, what do you learn about Buddy, Hazel and the relationship between them? So go through this section of the text and pick out as many points as you can. Pause this video and when you're ready, we'll come back and we'll go through it together. When writing any 10-mark question, it's really important to remember to track through the text. That means start at the top line and work your way through. This way, you won't miss out any vital information that could get you that 10 out of 10. Okay, let's check to see if we've got the same points. Firstly, we find out that Buddy was a lot older than Hazel. In fact, he was 18. We also find out that he's not very academic as he'd quit school. Another thing we find out is that Buddy cares a lot for his car, which he kept spotlessly clean. Something we learn about Hazel is that Buddy made her anxious. Also, they don't communicate very well because she didn't know how to talk to him. We then find out that Hazel is inexperienced with love. She hadn't yet learned any of those stratagems girls were supposed to use on men. Additionally, we find out that their relationship isn't very equal, as Hazel mostly said nothing, but this didn't seem to bother Buddy at all. In fact, he probably quite liked it. Furthermore, we find out that Hazel downplays how intelligent she is, as it was a bad tactic to appear too smart. Something else we find out about their relationship is that they don't know each other very much at all. One quote you could select is, maybe he would have liked a controlled display of it. The key word here is maybe. And another quote is, I never really figured out what Buddy really wanted. Finally, we learn that Hazel thinks that their relationship is one of convenience. She thinks that he's only going out with her because I was there. Okay, so if you've got the same quote as me, well done. However, if you've got one or two that I haven't yet picked out, that's absolutely fine as well. Don't forget that the examiner will always give you more than just 10 quotes to pick out. They want you to do as well as possible. Just make sure that you track and you answer the question. Okay, so now that we've done all the annotation, it's your turn to write up your answer. In the exam, you'll probably only have about 3 or 4 minutes to go through and annotate like we've done today. Obviously, we've taken our time. Then, you'll have about 12 minutes to write up your answer. Don't forget, it should be at least a side of A4 paper. That means at least. Remember to use P and always track through the text. You can even tick off each quote on your exam paper as you write it down. Next time, we'll look at question 2. Goodbye.